Welcome back. I'm Rochelle and this is Brampton Gardener, and today we are out and about in Georgetown. So we are going out to take our fall photos that we take every year in this beautiful location. So we're going to take you along for the ride. We are heading out to take some pictures, but we are going through this little small town of Norval, and I wanted to show you this little garden right up here on the corner, which we're going to be passing very shortly. And this is the Lucy Maud Montgomery Garden, Village of Norval, where Anne of Green Gables author lived for some time and wrote a few of the episodes of Anne of Green Gables here. So we are heading from Brampton into Georgetown. And this is the little hill. We go through this little tiny town. Then we're in Georgetown. And this is literally, what, 5 minutes from the house? We've been driving for about 5 minutes. It's not very far. We are right here outside the small town of Glen Williams, which is on our right hand side. So maybe we'll drive through there on the way back. And that is the Credit River. You can see here on the right hand side. And the Credit River starts north of here, I don't know, 15 kilometers or something north in a little area called Forks of the Credit, and then it flows all the way down through Caledon and Brampton, Georgetown, Mississauga, Credit View, and it flows all the way down into Lake Ontario. So again, this is about 10 minutes from our house. Like I've said before, we live right on the outskirts of civilization, so to speak, right at the city limits of the GTA. And a lot of the houses that are like literally right behind us that you can see out our back windows, that was all fields and farmland not too long ago. The right hand side, coming up soon, we'll see it here shortly, is the Hobby Horse, and it is a fabric store. So it's kind of out here in the middle of nowhere, and the lady has the whole top floor of her barn is for fabric, quilting fabrics. You can see right here all of the Hobby Horse signs on the left, on the right hand side, and it's the next driveway, I believe. And then down below, the bottom story of the barn is all tables and sewing machines, and she does classes and all that kind of stuff there. So there it is, the quilt shop. Hopefully you got the sign. I got it. Okay, so now we are finally leaving the area. Some nice houses here, and we're heading up into the hills. This is the big hill. Yes, this is part of the Niagara Escarpment, up and along through here, and the Bruce Trail system that we will be going near. And we see some quads up ahead. Now that tree line that we just drove up into is the edge of the Niagara Escarpment, and the Niagara Escarpment runs from the US all the way up and through Canada, from New York through to Illinois, and it is the escarpment that it's most famous for the cliff over which Niagara River plunges at Niagara Falls, which hence its name, the Niagara Escarpment. It is the oldest forest ecosystem and trees in eastern North America. It is not a fault line, but the result of unequal erosion. The escarpment is the most prominent of several escarpments forming the bedrock of the Great Lake basins. As I mentioned before, we have been coming back to this area for quite some time to take pictures every fall, and here are a few pictures from last year, 2020. And as you can see, I wasn't kidding when I said we came back quite often and over the years. So this one is from 3 years ago, and this one is from 2015. She looks so little here. This is one of my favorite pictures of her. And and we have been coming back to the same spot. It's just so serene and just a beautiful place to capture the fall colors. Apparently, it was a very popular idea on Thanksgiving Day to go hiking the Bruce Trail. Now, the Bruce Trail is a hiking trail in southern Ontario, Canada, and it goes all the way from the Niagara River up to the tip of Tobermory. The main trail is more than 890 kilometers long, and there are over 400 associated side trails. And this is the trail here in Georgetown area, the Silver Creek Conservation Area. The Bruce Trail mostly follows the edge of the Niagara Escarpment, as I mentioned before. It is the oldest and longest marked hiking trail in Canada. Its name is linked to the Bruce Peninsula and Bruce County, through which the trail runs, and was named after James Bruce, 8th Earl of Elgin, who was Governor General of the Province of Canada from 1847 to 1854. Way home, we drove right by Sheridan Nurseries, which is a Canadian-based garden supply company. It was founded in 1913. It has over 375 hectares of land for growing plants and 8 garden centers located throughout the Toronto area. The main location is right here in Georgetown as we're driving right past it. It's huge. The employment varies seasonally, but they are said to have upwards of 1,000 employees during their peak periods. This garden center here was founded in 1913, and they have acres and acres of plants, as you can see as we drive by. And we also saw quite a few cans of some proven winners plants out in the growing field, so they're all getting ready for next spring, and it looks like they're gonna have plenty trees to supply the area. On the way back from Norval, we're heading back into Brampton. You can see it in the distance back behind, and this on our left hand side is the apple factory, and it is a cute little country store that has been there for a very, very long time. And you can go in there and you can get pies and all kinds of produce and pumpkins, and people drive from all over just to come to the apple factory. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had a great time, and now I gotta get home and edit all these pictures, and hopefully we find some good ones. Thanks for coming. See you next time. Bye.